Welcome to Chill Thoughts for the Cooler Master Qube 500 Flatpack. This is just my opinion, it's not a technical review. I can't say how it was to build in this case because we don't really build in it. We build a PC and slowly add components of the case around it. The build is generally easier this way and a lot more pleasant. Side panels and parts of the frame don't get in our way, and fans can be attached outside the case, making it even easier to install them than a normal case, if it weren't easy enough already. In the end, we're attaching the glass panel and the cases together before we knew it. Cable management can be tough when the case isn't fully assembled, but we can save some time for that later in the process, and it's fine. It's a novel experience that leaves us with something to look at afterwards. We can sit back and remember how we had to screw the side panels in and slot parts together instead of having it done for us right from the factory. To me at least, something about building in the Qube 500 feels more complete and perfect than building in a typical off-the-shelf case. I expect it to be much more memorable for a new builder than for someone who's put together hundreds of PCs, but it stands out either way as a nice memory. It does bug me that we're not left with a box to transport a computer in. All that's left is a flat cardboard box with a bunch of weird foam pieces and cardboard pieces that do nothing for me unless I totally disassemble the case. Even then, the package was tenuous and it worries me how the parts were packed near the glass. It seems like the glass could get scratched easily. For mine anyway, I won't be putting it back in the box. The looks of the case are okay. We're accustomed to panels that hide wiring, channels that route cables, and aesthetic flair built in when we open the box. We can still route cables here, but the modern cosmetic features are missing. The side panel ventilation has a busy, hectic pattern that doesn't share anything with the outer panel's circular holes, but it gets the ventilation job done. The dust filters cover the mismatch, but not everywhere. These gray components here seem totally out of place too. They would have been perfect for an NES color version, but bother me here. If I bought the case strictly for myself, I would have gone with the black version. The case performed well. I did my usual stress test with the configuration from the build video, and the CPU and GPU were adequately cooled. The 7700X with no tuning didn't reach its full all-core frequency, but it got pretty close. That's great considering that it was under the Wraith Prism. I'm sure I could fine-tune the CPU to get it running at maximum speed, even under this cooler, but I just left it stock. The GPU didn't have any issues at all. I ran 4 Noctua fans, which definitely helped keep air flowing. I kept using the PC for a couple weeks, and I didn't have any complaints about functionality during that time. There are some very minor rigidity and fitment issues that allow the case to flex and twist a bit, and kept me from getting the last GPU screw in until the case was mostly buttoned up, but I've seen worse from pre-assembled cases. I used an SFX PSU to dodge potential conflicts between a large GPU and power supply. This wasn't necessary, but we do have to carefully consider interactions between the GPU and PSU when building in this case. Short power supplies are probably best. So when it's your turn to build, make sure you've got the clearance. Also, the case isn't terribly wide, so make sure you have room for the bend radius of those 12-volt power cables or a safe 90-degree version to avoid harmful strain on the cable. I didn't try the other configurations of the case. I don't expect I will, except maybe the test bench mode. They're not very much different from the standard ATX configuration. Thanks for watching. I have a few videos coming up about thermal testing, some motherboards, and I managed to pick up a very cheap Meshroom S to build in. I know that's not the newest case, but I hope you'll enjoy the build anyways. Thanks for watching. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year.